to do something. Look at here. I'm deleting MITVs, okay? And I'm trying to put something called VU. VU TVs, okay? Now let me click this. It automatically goes to VU pages, right? So VU TVs, this is pretty important. Instead of here, what am I trying to do is, I put my mail subject. So whatever there in my mail subject, it comes here, like a variable. It comes here, and it will search for the VU TVs. So that's all. It's a pretty simple thing. Got it? Hope you guys understood this. No. I think I'm not that much faster. I hope so. So the next point is, I don't need this manual thing anymore. Manual, I go to website and I don't want to do that way. So what am I trying to do is, trying to put this guy into scraping, and I delete this manual guy. And then again, what am I trying to do is, I'm trying to take this data scraping into the open browser. Wait a minute. Into the open browser. Now I try to delete this first robot. Now I make my robot as automatic. I'll try to teach the same program a couple of times. Don't need to worry about that. At least 2 times. First robot. Okay, we're done almost. So the incoming mails, whatever the incoming mails you guys are going to get, that will be going to the browser. Look at the steps. Look at the steps. Look at the flow chart here. I'll try to explain. Look at the flow chart. Get all the emails. Each mail will go to the browser. Each mail will go to the browser. In the browser, it try to data scrape everything, get everything, and put that one into CSV file. So 4 steps were done. Send a mail, and for each particular mail, you go to the browser, open browser, go to this particular link, and then get all the information called scraping, and put that one into CSV. 4 steps, just 4 steps. That's all. Now sending part is done. Now let me talk about SMTP. Now look at here. 2 again. Email 11. Email 11, and the subject I'm trying to put something called robotic response. Go with my spelling here. So please find the attachments. Okay, I'll do one more thing instead of like check. You got it. So that's it. And attach files. So the file is on my desktop. So this is my file. I'll right click this. Rename. Right click. Properties. So still the SMTP has been having a problem. So click on SMTP, again the same process you need to work. But here the SMTP has got a different port address called 465. Don't make any mistakes here because you won't receive the mails. So smtp.gmail.com. smtp.gmail.com. And the email is the email, and the password is the password, and the sender is also So that is it. So you've configured 3 steps here. The first one, you ask a mail. Each mail will go under browser, scrape everything, extract everything, put into CSV, and get that particular CSV and send back to your boss. So this is the steps we have done. Now save this thing here. Now let me go to my Gmail address, compose a mail, share on my FTP, and I'm trying to ask you a question saying like VU TVs, percentile 20 TVs. So you can ask any TVs, like I'll ask TCL, okay? We'll do a different TV here. TCL percentile 20 TVs, okay? Yeah. And I'll try to ask a question. Yeah. You have sent to yourself. Now go back to your UI processor. It goes to Flipkart automatically. I am not doing anything. It goes to TCL TV and grab all the information. Yeah, the program is done. And when I try to go to, yeah, the robotic response. So experiment 1. So let me download this guy and I'll put into my documents. There you go. All the TCL information, TCL TV information. So you have asked the robot to send me all the TCL information in your mail. You just simply asked, like, how do you ask your clerk inside your office? So you simply send her or him a mail saying like, send me the details of 70% students. And again, your clerk is going to respond with a mail saying like, this is the details. So in my scenario, I did myself. So I didn't create any clerk, but I asked the robot to send me all the information regarding the TCL information, TCL TV information. It goes to the web, it scraps everything, and it saves in my desktop and return back to the mail. Right? This is a quick experiment of how to make your robot to work. Any questions? Any questions? If you want me to explain it one more time, I can do that. Yes, you can unmute yourself and ask for the questions. Unmute yourself and ask for the questions. So you can ask for the questions. I request all the participants. You can go and ask for the question. I'll be waiting for the question. If you need one more time, I can explain the same scenario one more time.
Yes, sir. One more time.
Yeah, sure. I can do that. Who else? Any questions? So it is very interesting to teach to your students as well. After, I mean, the only problem in this particular entire scenario is you need to remember a lot of steps. That's all. Because you're not doing any coding. You're completely not doing any coding. So you have to remember a few steps. That's all. You have to remember a few steps.
Sir, one more thing.
Yeah.
Sir, here we are using mails, right? Instead of mail, can I do it for the WhatsApp messages?
Of course, but the only problem is here in UI part, we have something called the protocols pre-installed, the activities. If you are having activity which is configured along with the UI part, you can do this. There is nothing we need to do. So there is something called manage packages. Okay, there is something called manage packages. If you go on the top of your icon, if you click on here, so you can see the Excel activities, you can see the mail, you can see the databases, you can see a lot of things. Okay, you can see the CSV related information. You can see a lot of things. If you're having an activity which was need to be done from the scientists of UI part. If the scientist of UI part is going to give you the protocol of WhatsApp number, of course you can do that.
Okay, means in this UI path there is no WhatsApp.
There is no such thing. Yeah, there is no such thing. As of now, the URIIC is completely working in terms of like data scraping, the web related information. The thing what I have explained yesterday, like this is my, it asks for a human, right? I already told this example.
Yes.
So because of RPA was going into every website and scrapping all the information. So that is the reason they have been very much protective and they've kept some security checks before entering into the website. So if I am human, I need to click this. I need to search for image containing bicycles. Okay, so bicycle,
Yes.
bicycle, 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 bicycle. Yeah, if you are trying to click in that way only, they have been accessing you to come into my website. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So if RPA was working in all the cases, you'll be running out of your security measurements. That is for sure. Because robots can travel anywhere in the web and get the information. It's not humans, right? We go with one after one click and going to grab the information. But because it's a robot, it can pick very simply. As now you can see, like we have done for TCL TVs. So the TCL TVs, it goes to the Flipkart website and grab all the 57 results which is there in TCL thing and just gave me just within seconds. So this is that much faster. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Guest number 345, are you available today? Yeah. So how many of you need it for one more time? So you can put that one in the chat box so that I can understand like how slowly I need to go, because first time we were a bit in rush. Now I can take.
Sir, already you are recording, right? After this session, if you got the recording, then will be okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
No problem. So here in the Teams message, every day the recording has been setting up. Now watch it here. This is it. To watch the class again, you can find the recording session in the timeline. So we're setting in the timeline all the recording sessions in the YouTube. Okay.
Then
so
it
after
will
this
be
class,
okay, sir. No need to repeat it.
Sure. Guys, if you don't mind, go to the Teams app and try to find the attendance 27th May. Click on this button. You'll be redirected to the page and there is something called attendance today. Please try to click the attendance. Thank you. I'll tell one more scenario once you're done with the attendance. Please fill the attendance. Thank you. You can click on the post link and click on the attendance. You can fill the attendance. Thank you. you're done with the attendance, I can go to the next scenario. Thank you. So you're not filling the attendance, please try to make the attendance. So any other questions? You can ask for the questions. I'll go for one more scenario. So anyway, the session is recorded, and you can get the recorded link. You can start working on the recorded link as well. Okay. So there are like only few steps we have been notifying here. The first one is something called you need to send a mail by yourself, and each mail will go to a browser and search in the browser and extract the information, put that one into a CSV file. So whatever CSV file was there in the desktop, and that will be taken by your clerk and sent back to your existing mail. That's all. The SMTV is the sender. Okay. Now let me back to databases. Okay. So before going into my databases and start doing something, let me take you to my MySQL workbench. Okay, so I'm going to clean all the slate. And let me show you something called, I got few tables in my database. And the table name is something called employee. So select all the rows. So when I click on this, data will be there. So this is the information which was there inside my, my table, and this is the database name. Select star from UiPath testing. So I think everybody in the classroom do know about the database. So where we stored our data, right? So the database name is something called UiPath testing, and the table name is something called employee. Okay, so this is a table called employee ID, employee name, department ID, salary, and everything. So just something is an int, string, and int, and followed by something long or double or something. So that is it. So now, what am I trying to do is, how can I access the database in terms of like UiPath? How can I access the database in terms of my UiPath? So let me go to here. And I'm going to create a new sequence. And it is something called databases 2, something. I just created a new thing called databases. So that's an empty activity, right? That's an empty activity. So the first things first, you need to connect with the database, right? So there is something called connect. So come drag and drop connect. As usual, we need to configure the connections. So click on the connection wizard, ODBC, because MySQL is in ODBC, right? So ODBC, click OK. And MySQL DSN, data source name, and username credentials, root, and the password. I'm going to test the connection. The connection is succeeded. So I'm going to add this, and it's a ODBC driver. So I click it. So the database has been successfully configured. Now, the next point is you need to do a query. Okay, so I'll try to drag and drop something called execute query. Okay, execute query. Please be on mute. Yeah, thanks. So execute query. So the connection execute query. So there is a linking, right? So for the linking, we always, that so variable. So I'm trying to put something called data connection one, something like that. I'm trying to create a variable name. And when I click here I just need to make the connection successful. Control K, data con1, data con2, and here I'm trying to make the connection here. Data con2. So this is it. So I just made some connections ready to execute the particular program. Now let me write a query, select query. Okay, edit query. I'm trying to write something called select star from employee. So select star from employee is going to get you, all the information which was there in the table. Okay, select star from employee. So that's the parameter. So now I just wanted to, put this one into, CSV kind of it. So what I'll try to do is like append CSV. So I'll click it here. I'll go to my desktop. I'll name this guy as DB checks. CSV. Trying to say this. So from here to here, somebody need to travel. Again, the variable, the connection. Whenever you got a connection, you need a variable, right? So here, I'm trying to put something called Control K on 3. Here, I'm trying to put something called content. That's all. You're done. So let me run this particular program. So there is a dbchecks.csv. When I try to go inside it, yeah, this is the information inside your table. So IDs, name, and some other numbers, maybe the department IDs or something, and the salaries kind of it. So everything has been extracted from your data table to a CSV file. So that is it. It's a pretty simple experiment. And if you don't want that to be done in that particular way, so there is one more thing you can come across. The thing is like, I'll try to delete the CSV file and let me put something called message box and try to put it here. So in the message box, of course, we already do know something called row dot. So let's check whether const is going to produce us the variables. That's it. So you connect, you execute your query for each row in the connection tree. So you're going to get this output. So there are like plenty of ways you can do this particular process. So 103 is the first ID, 104 is the second ID, 108 is the third ID, 107 is the fourth ID. So you can do it in multiple ways. So that's completely up to your customizations. That's all. So I can still tell about like how can make Python, how can you make Java to talk to UiPath, how you can make Java and Python to talk together, Python to MySQL to talk together, and you can make any connections in the globe and set that one with UiPath without any coding and anything. So it's one of the simplest process, to understand today's environment of robotic process. So any questions? Any questions after two different scenarios? One is like database connection, and the second one is something called, the mailing process. Any questions so that I can take this further? So any questions? You can unmute yourself and you can talk to me. So you've seen two different scenarios today, right? So one is like the biggest one called mailing process. So that is one scenario where you can learn the best robotic process, and somebody is unmuted themselves. They wanted to talk, they can talk.
So you'll share the recording. Hello, sir.
Yeah, 345. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Can we get yesterday's recording also? Meaning we had some hands-on yesterday.
It's 345. Like in the yesterday's session, we have already uploaded from Golapur Surya. You can see it here at 12:30 p.m. Check your timeline. So
right.
It's going to take some time to record and put that one into YouTube and send back a mail. Okay, so please check that one into your timeline. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
You can practice. Yeah. You can practice.
Right. Yeah. For practicing only that, because sometimes we miss certain things when you're doing along with you. Right.
And just a bit of homework kind of thing. Just you can analyze. There is a bit of homework kind of thing. You can start working on Python scripting inside your UiPath as well. Python scripting inside your UiPath as well. Estimate 345, you can be on mute.
Yeah.
You can be on mute. So there is something called Python with UiPath. So I'm going to give this one as like a bit of homework for you. If you could do this. So mine is a dark mode. Okay, let me come back. I'm gonna share you a link right away, and you could really work this use case pretty well. Yeah. I got some specific web link. I'm going to put this one as a homework today. So watch it here. So I'm going to put something as a homework. So everybody try to watch the post. So I set something called on the post. When you click on this, you'll be redirected to a web link. So here, he gave all the examples how you need to connect with the Python. Okay. So enjoy programming. So you can download the code as well. He gave a click here link. You can click this, you can download the code, and you can start working with Python script on UiPath, on robotic process. Okay. So you can do this, I hope so. So watch the blog and try to do this. It's a bit of homework on Python with UiPath. Thank you. So any other questions? Mark the attendance on first thing, and the second thing, you will be receiving the meeting link within few minutes. And the third one, try to go with the homework. Try to go with the homework. When you click that, you will be redirected to a homework. So start working on the homework. Any other questions? Any other questions? So you can stop the recording. I think the session is over. You can stop the recording and any other questions? If you wanted to ask me any questions on this, you can go ahead. So 3 different things we have seen today. The mailing of robotic process, and the second one called connections with the databases, and the third one a bit of homework on Python. The Python with UiPath. So I gave you a blog. You can see the blog and you can start working on the UiPath. So you'll understand the robotic process, how the Python is going to work with the robot. Yeah, that's it. The session is over. Guest number 577, I think you have a question on HIPSO. You can ask directly. You can unmute yourself and you can ask directly. Thank you. Okay, I think we're done with the session of day 3. So you guys can leave from the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I had been attending this session since 3 days and I had